Welcome to this Read and Write for Google training. This video is specifically for students in the Long Beach School District who are using Read and Write for Google. I'm going to show how they would use it on a Chromebook, how they would use it on an iPad, how they use it for reading and writing in the different portals that we have here in Long Beach, and show you how to support them with their different tools. Let's start with something pretty simple. Let's say your student needs to read this website about Mars. This toolbar that's here on the side pops up when you activate the purple puzzle piece extension. The purple puzzle piece is just what we call Read and Write for Google. It's easier to call it purple puzzle piece. You hit it, and if the site is readable, then the toolbar will start. So let's learn a little bit about Mars. You can either highlight or just press play.
For starters, the red planet isn't even totally red. Browns, tans, golds, and flecks of green pop out as you scan.
So that voice is changeable and the speed is changeable. But let's learn all about why it's not red, because I'm going to need this information later.
Mars only looks red from far away because of rusting iron minerals in the rocks and soil.
Because of rusting iron minerals in the rocks and soils. We'll come back to that. If I'm not sure what minerals are, I can open up a picture. Doesn't have pictures for minerals, but let's look at what iron is. And if a picture isn't the thing that your student needs, then they also could just use the actual definition in the dictionary. These are all ways to get the articles that are on the screen to become easier for the student to comprehend and read. There is an option to turn on Simplified Page, and you get this little line with the arrow down. It just means it's going to take all the text from the site and simplify it, take away distracting pictures, just keep the pictures that it thinks it needs. And then you can simplify it even more. You can change the colors. If you have a vision issue, you can change the font and the spacing, but it's going to pull just the text into a separate page to simplify. That's a great option to use. But students aren't only going to be reading on websites. The great thing about Read and Write for Google is that this toolbar is accessible on a lot of the portals that we use. I'm going to show you guys my portal. It's going to look similar to a student portal, but I have some different things that are available to teachers. But you're probably familiar with Canvas, McGraw-Hill, Lexia, Rapid Assessment. Read and Write for Google works inside these. Lexia and ST Math don't need Read and Write for Google, but if it can work, it will. For example, if you'd like to use Read and Write for Google inside of the Canvas websites, that works. This is just my Canvas site. Let's say the student needed to reply to this. In order to use Read and Write for Google, you just turn it on. Let's say you wanted word prediction. It will pop up here in the window for Canvas for Read and Write for Google. And then the word prediction works and audio playback works.
Bees, beetles, and snakes and worms.
The thing that doesn't work with Read and Write for Google in Canvas or in Google Slides are when teachers provide PDFs. It looks like this bees article is something that's going to be readable, but you have to do special work to make PDFs readable because they just look like images. So in order to play and get PDFs to read, you have to convert it first. That's more advanced, but if you're interested in downloading Text Help's PDF reader, that is Read and Write for Google, and it will convert some PDFs. You're gonna hit a wall with graphics and a lot of PDFs where Read and Write just can't read it because it's an actual image, not words. So these are the different ways to use Read and Write for Google for the reading portion. If you're going to do the writing portion, you could use all these other tools. So we were reading about Mars, right? And now the question is, why is Mars red? There's 3 different ways to get the answer to this. Let's go to our Simplified page. Oh, it's still loading. It's not there. So we're going to go back to Mission to Mars. This is what a lot of students do. They go back and find the sentence about why Mars looks red, and then copy and paste it. I mean, that's one way to do it, right? Another way is to just speak the answer. So Mars only looks red from far away because of iron in the rocks and soil, period. Otherwise, comma, if you were on Mars, the planet would look brown, period. So there's your speech to text. If you needed to type the sentence and do new ideas, then we use the word prediction tool. It will pop up and predict the words that the tool thinks you need help spelling. So Mars, I can spell, looks, if you just do inventive spelling,
Looks
you can usually find,
like a,
ooh, I'm just gonna keep doing it,
or
is, looks like it is red.
Red.
Because of iron.
Iron.
You see how this is going. So that's the word prediction tool. With writing, you can do predictions, speech to text, and then if you wanted to listen back to your sentence to make sure it sounds just right, you can still use the play button.
Red because of iron.
The play button works. Those all work. Picture dictionary still works when you are writing. If you wanted to change the voice, these 3 dots over here in the corner and options provide voice options. Usually the US, let's go down all the way to U. Oh, those are the offline ones. There we go. US, we have Allison, Ava, Samantha, and Tom. Allison's one of my favorites. Just for fun, let's speed up Allison. Let's do our prediction to maybe only 7 words because I don't need as many predicted. And I'm going to make the text size a little bit bigger. So now when I turn on prediction, the size is bigger. I'm only seeing 7 words. And I'm looking for minerals.
Minerals.
And when I press play, we're going to hear that the voice is a bit different this time.
Mars looks like it is red because of iron and minerals.
And I sped it up pretty fast. So that's why that was fast. You can go back to options, and in check it, you can do spell check, grammar check, screen masking. I'll show you that in a second. You can turn that on and off. Language, we're going to use English, but if you were in high school and taking a Spanish class, you could change it to Spanish and then it'll predict Spanish words. And features here is a way to change the toolbar. As you saw earlier, I turned on simple or simplify. Let's turn on screen mask so I can show that. And a lot of these other features I usually turn off because they're for teaching. It's a lot of highlighters and stuff, but we just use Google Highlighter. Let's use a screen mask now. This is to help students focus on one section and get rid of distractions. If we go into here, I can change the background color to red, make its opacity a little darker so there's less that I see of the background. And I mean, I just like a white light, and the height of it, I'm gonna make it a little wider so that I can focus on what I need to see. Now, when we're talking about Mars being red, I'm just focused on this one section. So that is the screen mask tool. You can always explore all the other tools. When we're working with students directly in the Long Beach School District, we usually know which features they're going to want to use. And those are the ones we turn on for them at first. But of course, it can explore all the other ones and see if it will be successful for them. Now, this is what Read and Write for Google looks like on the Chromebook. If you have an iPad, it's just a keyboard that becomes enabled. And it has this purple color, just like the other purple puzzle piece. And in this one, word prediction just predicts here on the toolbar, just kind of like all iPad screens do. And then all those other features I was talking about, those are under the 3 dots. You click that and you can still use Check It. You can still get the dictionary under the 3 dots with pictures and even translator. That's all also available on the iPad version of Read and Write for Google. Let's see if the Simplified Page ever showed up. It didn't. Kind of frustrates me. I like to do things right. So let's click it again and see if we can get it faster this time. Here we go. So Mission to Mars, as simplified, it's taken the most important things it thinks you need and put it there. You can simplify that way. So that's what Simplified does. We hope that more and more of our students will be using Read and Write for Google. It's very successful for spelling support, for text-to-speech support, and even for speech-to-text, although all students in Long Beach could always just go to Tools, Voice Typing, and use the exact same feature. Some of them just instead really like that Read and Write for Google and hiding it, bringing it down, and using it when it's needed.